Hey everyone, this is Vicki from Messy Table Studio. I have a project here that I am a bit uncertain about. When I went away to Shannon Green's Creativeville 2026, we had a class in polymer clay. And while I wasn't crazy about my project at the end, I mean, it was okay, but I did not understand some of it, and it just turned out a little weird. But I enjoyed the process of it. We were told to go ahead and take the polymer clay that was supplied for the class. It was Sculpey Souffle. And I took that home, and then I already have made things with paper clay. Paper clay you don't have to dry in the oven. You don't have to do UV resin or any of that stuff to it. You can put a sealant on it, but it doesn't have to be UV resin. So I ordered some more Sculpey because I wanted to have more white so I could play around with the different things that I've seen people do on YouTube, because I have been watching a bazillion videos on Sculpey and on polymer clay and how to bake it and the UV resin and all these people that make these things and no fingerprints and dust and hairs and good Lord. So the other day, something came in the mail that I ordered. I ordered molds you can cut the clay with, either paper clay or the polymer clay. Since I already have done stuff with paper clay, I was okay with ordering it because I could use it for either one. The stuff came and I started cutting things with the polymer clay. I have a pasta machine and I warmed it up, and then I rolled it through there. And my first bake was terrible because I thought that because this stuff was super thin that it would bake in the 15-20 minutes. I think I baked it for, the first time was about 20 minutes at 275, and you could touch it and it would you could bend the stuff in half, and I went, well, that's not right. So then I talked to somebody and they said, no, you got to leave it in there a little bit longer. So I went back and rebaked it, and I think I did that about 4 or 5 times. And I had watched a video where they talk about when the white Sculpey turns kind of a different color, that means it's overbaked. Overbaked. So I knew that. But still, it's not, it should be hard. Now I see that's why a lot of people seal it with the resin, because it is not hard. It does have, I can feel it in my hands that it is flexible, but it's been baked probably 2 hours or more at 275. So anyway, I took the forms and I cut all the stuff out, and then I had some little things that made impressions in the clay, either paper or the polymer. It works on both. So I started doing some of those, thinking, well, let me just do this and see how it turns out. So I got them all baked, even though the color has changed. It doesn't bother me because most of them I've covered up with something else, like a napkin, or I painted over them completely, like these two, or I've painted on top of what the texture was for this stamp. And I kind of like doing that. That was fun, and I thought, well, why use their design when I can just stamp it plain and draw my own design on it and then paint it? So I think no more textured things like that. This was a roller, a textured roller. That's what this was. And then I cut out the shape. So then, let's see, I did the ones where I did the imprint. Okay, so you saw those. And then I did the ones where that has I did the roller. Oh, you can't see that very well. Sorry. Did the roller with it. It's a light blue with white daisies. So this was too pale for me. So then I thought, well, let's get crazy. So I did, focus, you silly thing. There you go. I did these. I did it in pink, orange, yellow, and purple, and I really like the purple. Let me hold it up. I know it's going to go crazy. I'm sorry. This way. Can you see it? Is it focusing? I can't tell if it's going to focus. It looks better that way. Anyway, so that's that. These I did, these were textured also, and I'm not crazy about these, so I doubt seriously I'll be using these, but I took a napkin, cut out part of a flower I really liked. It's not focusing. Cut out a flower that I really liked in the napkin and glued it on there with the matte medium. And I also did it with the red one and then went around the edge with the red color so that you wouldn't see like any jagged edges and you sand the edges. Not crazy about these. This one, I think, is the one I like the best and I expected the least from. This is just a square, and then I have a hole poker. And they come in different sizes. So this one was another thing off of a napkin. Then I put glossy accents on it. Yeah, I never get this name right. Haha, first time. Glossy accents on it. And I do like the shine on it. And I think it'll be a book dangle because I can't sell it. But it's an idea, you know. Then I did all these little bitty things thinking that I would make mobile. So it's a little textured circle and then a little textured heart. And then these little oval type things. And I was going to take one of these like this and I poked a hole at the top and then 3 holes at the bottom. Then I started stacking these up looking at, well, okay, that's big. So then I'd have to put one of these little spacer type things in here to make it go down lower. And then I only have 1 hole in the heart and that would have to go down there. But see, I have 3 circles and they're going to whack into each other. And think, well, that's a really bad idea. So I was looking at this in particular thinking, oh, I think I have an idea for that. And then I expanded that same idea into this one. Wait till you see. This is just silly. Oh, well, maybe I didn't use it. Okay. So the first thing I did was I made an elastic band for my book and then thread the elastic through here. So I might be able to do these and paint them and then put the elastic through them to hold books that I sell on Artemat. Instead of making a belly band, it's just a piece of elastic and it'll go over and be like that, which I thought was a good idea. And then I did try it with this little beady one, but this book is too big. I think that might snap this one. I don't know, but I did it on a smaller book. Oh, wait, here it is. Duh. I did it for a smaller book. Do I have the smaller book handy? Yeah, here. I think I would have to make this elastic band a little bit smaller because it was kind of big for this book, but the book that I used was a little thicker than this one. So I thought this might be good for a little book because I know how people overstuff their books to where the spine is screaming for mercy. So I was thinking about doing this, and I thought, well, if I do them that small, I could do one that's like this big and do it there. But the books I make for Artemat are not this big. So I would do a small thing for the Artemat stuff. I just need to find another shape or form like I could do this one. This might eat up the whole front of the book. Yeah, it would. So I would have to find something like that and then, of course, do the second hole. And this would be something that holds it shut, but you shouldn't need this big thing to hold your book shut because this is only going to have 8 pieces of paper in it. So that's overkill. Nevertheless, the idea is in my head now. I just put this on. I haven't painted it or anything, but I just wanted to try to see if I liked it. And I really do because it keeps the book closed. So then I thought, well, this was an old idea from a while ago, is putting the button on it. I had this laying in a drawer, and then this keeps this thing closed. But I thought, yeah, a button is okay, but wouldn't it look better if it had something like this on it to hold it in the front? I thought that might be better, and then I could just put the holes here on the side. All right, so this is how my brain works. Not well lately. So that is what I've been up to. I've been playing around with these. I do like the shiny on it. So if I decide to do this, that means I would have to buy a toaster oven to bake the polymer clay things in. I watched a video where the woman said that the fumes, however subtle they may be, yes, you can smell them a little bit. I did notice there was a little smell. That it begins to coat the inside of your oven. well, I don't want to bake this in an oven where I make food. So I would have to buy a small toaster oven, and I looked at brands that other people used, and I think Black & Decker was the one that I saw was most popular. So I thought, well, do I really want to invest $60 in a Black & Decker toaster oven? I have no flat spots to plug it in here, and not one plug available either. So I thought, well, maybe that's just not the best idea ever. Plus, then, if you use the UV resin on it, you have to buy the little light, and you have to buy the resin, and then you have to wear a hazmat suit to do it because it has an odor. Well, I can put some of this stuff. I can do the resin and stuff outside, and only make these things when the weather is nice enough for me to go out to do it. Plugging in a toaster oven in the outside plug and leaving it plugged in to bake this stuff was not an ideal thing. So I thought, well, I could do it out in the garage. That way I can lift up the garage door and there'll be ventilation. I can still wear the hazmat suit, the gloves and the little the cannula thing. I just don't know. Do I really want to invest that much time in this? I mean, I'm not very good at it, and I'm sure I will get better as time goes by, but I thought, paper clay. It dries on its own. I don't have to have an oven. But, yes, you can seal it, but you can seal it with a matte sealer, which is not a hazard. I can still put glossy accents on paper clay. Napkins can still go on it. You can still paint it. You can sand out the imperfections. So I'm trying to balance this because this is not going to be a full-time craft, like Artimat is for me. There's different things in Artimat that I enjoy doing, like making miniature flowers. I even bought miniatures, extremely small miniature petals and that to make flowers. And I thought, oh my God, what am I doing? What am I doing? So I'm not really sure how this is going to work out, but if I use the little petals, it might be to make flat flowers like this, like a little arrangement on, this looks like a postage stamp, which I thought was so cool. I've got a big one and a little one. I really like them. Now I haven't done anything further than just painting it with acrylic paint on the front and leaving it the way it is. So if you guys have any thoughts, please put them in the comments below because I'm really floundering here. I am going to try these in paper clay to see how well they do with paper clay. Paper clay is much more breakable, and it doesn't require an oven or the resin. I could seal it with resin, but I was trying to get away from the chemical stuff and, buying a toaster oven and then having to buy a respirator. And then you got to buy the resin. That's more expenses. And I'm trying not to add more to my inventory. I don't know. I feel like I have to decide what to do. I have a 5-pound can or 5-pound plastic container of the white Crayola paper clay. And I am going to try this same type thing with that to see which one I like better. I think these need to be sealed with the resin. That it needs to be the UV resin or some kind of resin, and everything stinks. So again, it would be out to the garage, and when the garage gets up to like 120 in the summer, that's not an option. Even with the garage door open, it is hotter than blazes. So there would be none of this out in the garage because I just can't take that heat, and I have nowhere to plug in the toaster oven in here. So that's a quandary. I might only be able to do this stuff in certain months of the year because of too much heat in the garage sort of situation. When you live in Texas, that dictates, air-conditioned house to air-conditioned car to air-conditioned store, went wash, rinse, repeat. All right, so that's what I've been up to this week, plus, what else did I do this week? Oh, I sorted out, I played with the jelly plate and sorted my stuff and scanned it and put it in the computer for the future date. So I think that's about it. I'll be teaching a class on Shannon Green's vinyl books. The name totally escapes me. Oh, she's going to shoot me. Oof. Hang on a second. I want to use the right word. Okay, it's the Paintable Custom Keeper. It's the A5 size, so this will cover, you can use this for, can I use this for my notebook? I'm looking to see if I have a notebook in here. Anyway, so this is the class that I'm teaching at the farm, and we're going to be painting these and then stringing them so they can use them for, I store jelly prints in there. Like if I'm going somewhere, I will put my jelly prints in here to use for a class or whatever occasion I need to take them with me. I just put stuff in there to hold it. Instead of trying to cram papers in a bag to carry, it's much easier to just slip them under here and ta-da, we're done. So that's what I'm going to be teaching. And I think that is it for me. Y'all let me know what you think about this polymer versus paper clay quandary that I have. If you saw all the little cutters I have accumulated just looking through Etsy and Amazon, you'd be like, what are you thinking? There comes a certain point where you start to question your decisions. Should I keep going? Should I stop? These I can, handle these. I can give away the Sculpey for somebody else who might use it. That's not a problem because I don't have a lot of it. The tools I can use for lots of cool stuff. For embossing, not a big deal. But it is the investment in a toaster oven and the UV stuff that I am questioning whether I want to go down that rabbit hole. Not sure. This is not something my husband can make. I mean, he made me book stands and the V stands to do the, gosh, I'm such at a loss for words today, to do the books with, the holes in the books, and I'm not getting any younger, and do I really need to accumulate more stuff? I've been trying to get rid of things, and then I replace it with new things. Somebody was laughing at me that I know because I'd mentioned that I threw away 2 Posca markers the other day, but then these came and there were 48 of these. So she said, that's really funny because you threw away 2, but yet you added 48 more. I said, well, I look at it that I'm 46 down. Anyway, so, if you guys have any thoughts of polymer versus clay, let me know. And I would be happy to respond because I'm really at a stuck point right now. And I need to either go back and check myself or keep going forward to the point of no return. Okay, everybody, I will see you in the next video. Hopefully I will have the clay results of these, which I hope will be these. Some of these are not too bad, but I think I don't like the pattern of the rolled one on this pattern. There's certain patterns of the rollers that I really like better than the others, and I do like the daisy roller, but I can always do stuff plain and draw it on there myself. I don't actually need the rollers, but I just thought they were interesting. You get sucked in when you start doing a hobby. You're like, oh, I need this marker and 7,000 pens and this book, that book, this paper, that paper. Ta-da! All right, everybody. Guys, have a good week. See you later. Bye.